welcome to a new type of video. I don't know what to call it yet, but it'll be something like subscriber problems. Basically, it's somebody who sent me a problem to look at, and wasn't sure how to do it, so we'll do it together instead. This problem in particular comes from a student and subscriber of mine. We have 10 times a squared times b to the 10th, all of that in parentheses, times the quantity negative 3a cubed b to the 8th. So we're going to talk about how to do this. There are a few things that we need to know. We're not going to talk about all of the things that you need to know how to do, but we'll at least cover some of them. So two of the things that we're going to need to know how to use are the commutative property and the associative property. You can see them here. We have a times b is equal to b times a. That's probably pretty obvious, but we do need to know that we can do that, as well as the associative property where we have b times a times c is equal to a times b times c. Basically, it's just saying that you can multiply stuff in any order. It doesn't really matter. So we'll need to know those two things. We also need to know exponent laws. Specifically, if the bases are the same, you can either add or subtract the exponents depending on what you're doing. For example, if we have x squared times x squared, we are basically just going to add the exponents together to get x to the 4th. The reason we can do that is because x times x, which would be this x squared, times another x squared, x times x, we have 4 x's, so it's just x to the 4th. You could do this with division as well, in which case you are going to subtract. If we do something like this, and we'll just put a 1 there for the argument, this would be the same thing as subtracting our exponents, so we'd just have x to the 1st, which would just be x. So pause the video here if you need to write down any of these things. Otherwise, we'll jump into the actual problem that we're trying to solve. So if we look at this problem then, knowing what we do now, the first thing I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to rearrange it so that our 3a cubed b to the 8 is in front. The only reason I'm doing that is because I like to have the negative sign in front. And then we have 10a squared times b to the 10th. And you'll notice I've actually completely gotten rid of the parentheses. We don't need them, especially now that we have the negative 3 in front. From here, we could rearrange this a little bit more just to group things that are similar. So we could have 3 times 10 times a cubed times a squared times b to the 8th times b to the 10th. Again, this is an unnecessary step, but if you need to help organize things, it's not a bad thing to do. Finally, we're just going to multiply whatever we can together. We're still going to end up with 3 parts: a number, something to the a, something with an a of a base, and then something with a b base. But we just go through this piece by piece. So 3 times 10, or negative 3 times 10, is negative 30. A cubed times a squared is a to the 5th. And b to the 8th times b to the 10th is going to be b to the 18th. And that is how we can rewrite this expression in a more simple fashion. If you found that helpful, feel free to hit like and subscribe. If you didn't find it helpful, I guess you can't press the dislike button because that's not a thing anymore. Anyway, so that'll do it for this video. Hopefully it was helpful. Bye.